For you folks out there that enjoy watching kids get psychologically tortured, kidnapped, and possibly beaten to death, the It franchise is back! With Welcome to Derry. It's an HBO Max exclusive, came out the other night, I checked it out, exclusive, short for exclusive. And this series acts as a prequel set 27 years before the 2017 film. Even though we're following a new set of characters, we have the returning crew that worked on the last set of movies, and we got Skarsgård back, baby, reprising his role as Pennywise. I want to talk to you briefly about Welcome to Derry in a spoiler-free review. As a side note, if this gets a decent amount of traction, I do want to cover the entire series front to back, giving spoiler commentary of each episode. I've done that for several popular shows in the past. It's up to you, though, to make it worth my time. So watch the video, subscribe to the show Adam Does Movies, as I typically cover movies and movie-adjacent topics, such as Welcome to Derry, and hopefully I see you in the next video. Okay, let's begin. Alright, so Welcome to Derry takes place in 1962, with several seasons promised to come that are going back even further with a 27-year time span difference. In this episode, though, we're establishing a new losers club of sorts, with the primary focus being on Phil and Terry. They have some good banter together, they have a good rapport. I really enjoyed these two characters. Some of their conversations are incredibly inappropriate and hilarious. They reminded me of how I talked with my buddies when we were like 12 years old, and maybe last week. And listen, I don't want to ear shame anyone, but as a quick observation, Phil has some earlobes like no other. Holy shit, those things are pumped up. It was a minor distraction, and I feel like I'm someone that can talk on the subject as I have massive ears myself. Not so much the lobes, but just the overall radius is pretty intense. My parents used to call me Dumbo when I was younger. So there's some trauma there. There's some trauma with this guy. Let's get into the trauma of this episode, though. When we're not palling around with these two idiots, we're going to be learning the backstory of Matty and how he tried to leave Derry at one point. It didn't go well. Which brings up a pretty intense sequence in the vehicle to really set the stage for what's to come. And my God, does this episode set the stage. Again, not getting into any details, but expect the unexpected here. The kids in this show are clearly going to be put through the ringer. Not only was I concerned for Phil and Terry as this episode wound down, I also really liked Veronica and Lily, who they would eventually team up with. And then there's Phil's little sister, just an absolute doll. She steals every scene she's in. When we're not following this new losers club, we also have another plot point going on with the military. Not something I was expecting them to go into. Clearly, there's some mystery going on here. The primary protagonist is Leroy. He's going to be acting as our fish out of water character. He's just getting to the base. He already knows things are a bit sus, just based on how he's talking to some of his fellow soldiers. And he is black, so he's got that going against him too. Racist is amongst the group. So not only does he have the evil alien he has to deal with, but there's also the whole fellow man being an asshole angle that's probably going to be challenging for him to overcome as well. And I'm sure at some point both the child story and the adult story are going to cross, but we're only one episode deep so far, and so far, I'm all in. As a fan of the last set of movies, a big fan, I really enjoyed both of them. The second one a little weaker and definitely too long for what it needed to be. I thought visually they were very beautiful. I thought the acting was on point. I thought some of the scares really worked. Yes, there's an over-reliance on CG, and that's definitely notable with the show. However, the show still looks absolutely stunning. I love the set. I love this town. It has a life to it. It has a history to it, and I'm really excited to dig further into that. It's clear everyone attached to this project did their homework, they did their research, they laid out the town, they got everything figured out for more episodes to come. As for the scares, it takes a lot to really put a chill in my bones. My wife jumped once, I believe, so on that scale, this is pretty tame so far. I do think the CGI is hurting this one so far. Hopefully we get some more practical effects down the road, or they can find a way to make it less obvious. As for the man, the myth, the legend himself, Pennywise, he's MIA so far. Before this show hit, the creator did make it known that Pennywise is not going to be in a lot of this thing. He's not going to show up for a while. I'm perfectly fine with that. It is not a clown. It is a supernatural alien entity that feeds off the fear of mainly children in the town. One man's creepy, scary clown is another girl's scary spider. It's dependent on the kid being tortured at the time. Out of all the streaming services, I feel like HBO is the one that gets it more right than they do wrong when it comes to these TV shows. They put a lot of money into it, they put a lot of resources into it, and you can see it here on the screen. This feels movie level. Cinematography is on point. It has that awesome score booming throughout the thing. I don't think the episode's perfect by any means. I do think some of the army stuff came off as silly more than it did sincere, especially a little action sequence that takes place at night. The whole thing came off as very kind of corny. These guys get jumped by some strangers, they fight them off, and then they just sit down on their beds like, well, that just happened. Small gripes aside, the job of a first episode of a series is to get you interested in what's going on, bring you into the story and the characters, set the stage for what's to come. Welcome to Derry nails all three of them. And even though it is a prequel, which is often attached to terrible, this one is starting out on the right clown shoe. If you enjoyed the last two It movies, I think you're gonna have a good time with this one. Give it a shot. Definitely play it out to the end of the episode because things really pop off at that point. All right, that's all I got for you. Welcome to Derry. Definitely check it out. I plan on covering more if, again, you subscribe to the show, if you leave a comment, if you like the video, and if you make sure the engagement stays high on this one. All right, that's all I got for you. Hopefully I see you next time. Take care. Oh, wow, you're still here. Well, since I have you, maybe think about jumping by the old merch store, Adam Does Movies, and pick up one of these Adam Does Movies Halloween tees. It's got Jason on the cover there on the logo, a little Friday the 13th inspiration in time for the holidays. On top of that, maybe think about becoming a Patreon at patreon.com/Adam Does Movies to really help support this one-man band. And that way I can afford to actually put out some candy this year for the trick-or-treaters and not just an empty pumpkin with a sign that says "Take one only." Implying that some fat little crap took all of them and left right away. Okay, that's all I got. Take care.